Hi everyone. So I'm about to do my second songwriting video. I just got a flood of ideas. I went to this workshop on I think it was on TikTok, and this guy he was teaching about how do we make what we teach unique to our story. And if you know anything about me, I am a storyteller, but a lived experience storyteller. And I thought, I don't want to make myself too vulnerable, but why not? I have a song called Vulnerable, and I want to show you how our experiences in life can help to establish a structure for a good song. Words and lyrics will just pour out of you. If you look into your life and you see all of the experiences that occurred, the good ones and the bad ones, the disappointments, the rejections, uh, uh, the spirituality or religion, whichever one you choose, all of this, all of this can represent what a good song, what a good song can be, and how a good melody can come from these lyrics, or how you can put these lyrics on a good melody depending on whatever one you choose. Now I have to use my life as an example, and I always try my hardest to not call names in songs, but sometimes those, if you really look at it, the songs that make it so big are the songs sometimes that has a name in it, even if it's a fictitious name that that the songwriter used um, to draw reference to that particular experience. Um, Sometimes songwriters use names, right? Because people impact us so strongly. Living, we are impacted by family members, disappointment from family members, but disappointment from friends, disappointment from church, disappointment from community or religious organizations. And how do we put these experiences in songs? How do we? And I want to tell you a little bit about what my process looks like, and how I put them in songs, and how I often feel like I'm kind of going to offend the person that might overhear the song, and they know that the particular lyrics might have drawn direct reference to how they negatively or positively impacted me. So we are owning our stories. And if you have a hard time owning your story, because you're always thinking about, what is this person going to think about the fact that I wrote this? What will that person think about the fact that I wrote that? Then you will never write anything. Your words will be so abstract, nobody will connect, or maybe somebody will connect, but it will be difficult to say an experience if you're always thinking about what somebody else will think. Okay? So I want to use myself as an example. Some of the songs that actually I wrote, kind of predicting how I thought things would be in the future. I have a song called Higher, and it says, flowers flowers in an empty space, kiss me on my lonely face. And then it went on to talk about AI taking humans' place, right? Because during that time, AI was becoming something that was very, very popular. So, how do we connect what's happening today How do we talk about it in our songs? We have to draw a direct connection, because if, as a songwriter, you can't talk about what's going on day to day, whether you are fearful about it, whether you are excited about it, maybe AI impacted you in a positive way, maybe it put more money in your pocket, then your lived experience, no matter how embarrassing that might be, should or could reflect this entire type of evolution in a futuristic way. And maybe if you need inspiration to build a track that sounds futuristic, you can go to a kit and find futuristic sounds to build a song about how artificial intelligence impacted you in a positive way. All of these things, this is how you can journey through the experience of songwriting without avoidance. So sometimes as a songwriter, I find that it's an avenue for me to confront. And maybe you are non-confrontational. Maybe confrontation isn't your thing. Maybe it's something that you hate doing. Songwriting will be so therapeutic for you. You will know that it came to save your life, because some things that I was afraid to confront, like rejection, like unemployment, like the life of being a songwriter that wants to be truthful and authentic and upholding moral construct. All of these things was something that I confronted through songwriting, right? Which sometimes made me more unpopular. Which made me more unpopular. But if you really think about brands, if you are building your brand, your unique brand, how do you do it if you're always thinking how someone else is thinking? I was talking to this young artist that's on my Facebook, and I was letting him know, of course you can be a hip hop artist and you can do your song sounding quite similar to every other hip hop artist song, because you just want your track to have a strong resemblance. But even in this strong resemblance, there has to be, or there could be, or there should be any word that resonates with you, because you have to be relaxed to be a songwriter as well. You know, you have to find your most relaxed state of mind in order to be true to your journey with words, right? So you in this type of uniqueness, with this unique style, with being true to who you are, you can write and create your brand based on this unique perspective. Okay, for example, I wrote a song called Style, and I have my songwriting book right here, and I want to read you a little bit about style, because I get so tired of songs being promoting brands. Not everybody has money for those name brand things, name brand shoes, name brand this, name brand that. And the song that I wrote, it says, dressed up in my best It doesn't have to be name brand. And then later on, I say, if I see it in a thrift store, I'll rock that fit. All of these things is how we establish our brand, a unique approach to songwriting, varying from this popular materialistic bling bling this, bling bling that. I want a nice car. I'm not saying that I don't want a nice car one day, but I'm saying if you can create a unique experience in your songwriting that's based on your moral construct or the way in which you approach life, right? Then an artist, a singer who might feel a strong connection to this style of writing will come to you and say, hey, this is a different approach because I've heard so many other approaches that I couldn't connect with. And this particular approach is what I'd like to use. But how do you get to this point? How do you get to this point where you don't want to do what's popular anymore? How do you arrive to this point? Do we need, as a culture, some spiritual awakening? Do we need to find who we are? And why I say this is because I remember during the pandemic, songwriting during the pandemic, I wrote a song called Lonely Too Long. Now that I reflect on it, I feel like I was lonely for just the right amount of time. I was talking to the pigeons, asking them what's their perspective on love. What do you think? Are we supposed to be monogamous as human beings? And because I felt like, because we had to be in isolation for so long. But look at the amount of people that had an opportunity to connect with their family members, their children, their passion again. I went on a vacation with this individual from Toronto, this business owner, and we were exploring, I think it was Ottawa, and we stayed at this Airbnb, and I remember the father, he was working, he had the opportunity to work remotely, and the pandemic was getting to the process where it was ending, it was wrapping up. So that must have been like 2021, but I don't want to quote the wrong year. And you know what he said? He said, I'd missed 5 years of my son's life and I didn't realize how good his kid was. He didn't realize it. All of this time, over-focus on. What do we over-focus on? Money. What do we over-focus on? Material things. Definitely technology. Definitely nice cars. Right? And where is it getting us? It's not getting us anywhere. Just with more mental illnesses, overstimulated, rejecting the people around us because we're focused on our technology all of the time. People have such a hard time connecting with us because we're always distracted. Do we want to write about more material things if this seems like this is tearing the world apart slowly by slowly? Do we want to approach life from that perspective? or do we want to talk about? That's why I love country songs. I do. I love country songs. They could be, some of them can be sad, and you know, the man in the song is normally drunk or something, or somebody that drinks a lot, or somebody that it normally has dismal storytelling style, but it's always connected to someone, a relationship, or love, or broken relationship, or a dependency, but not codependency, a dependency on the connection with a loved one. I think this is important. Human beings thrive. How do we thrive? We thrive when we are around people who love and support us. Why am I saying all of this? How is this connected to songwriting? I think I need to bridge the thought process so you can understand. If we are writing about the things that are causing the world to do this, are we contributing to positive vibration? And I don't want to assume that everyone is. I don't want to assume that everyone is, because I lived in Toronto for 13 years, and I feel like I got chased out of Toronto because there was so much bad energy and people who were in search of power, and they had lost their souls. Like, I felt like I got chased out of that town by bad energy to reconnect with the land that I was born in, where my family is. And I'm not saying family is perfect either. I'm not saying that. But to be around some people that have their priorities in the right order can inspire you to write good songs, right? And a lot of times, the music industry, singer-songwriters, they have to be drunk or high or under influences to put out work that they feel is worth or is articulating how they feel. But why do we need these things to inspire us? Because we aren't around the right set of people who can cause us to write the right set of material, right? So anyways, I was talking about the connection with this musician on Facebook. And I find that, I don't know if you do know, I'm putting out one song a day on TikTok and on Instagram. In order for me to, why am I doing this? Why am I putting out one song a day? So I want to be honest and I want to be transparent. So I put a video on TikTok. I was hanging under the dilly tree, sapodilly tree, in my grandmother's yard. And it's my grandmother. She was a musician and a singer. And something hit me under that tree, because I used to post one song a day on Facebook. And as Facebook updated their apps, I lost my notes, my poetry that was there, and I lost my songs that was posted there. I lost these things because they updated, and slowly erased everything. So I didn't realize how much that was impacting me, because my unique experience to this world and my approach to writing is that I'm a transgender man. So that's my approach to writing, which leads to, anyways, we'll get on that. We'll get on that in the second part of my conversation with you. But so I was sitting under the sapodilla tree, and something hit me and says, if you want to show that you're good, you have to prove that you're good, because everybody needs a sign. Honestly, everyone needs a sign. And I get frustrated when people treat me like I just started doing this, because when you move to a new city, nobody knows what you could do from a can of paint. You're trying to get into organizations, and there's a fight for people who are trying to protect their nationality, this nationality, pulling against that nationality, and that ain't always a black on white thing. That's sometimes a black on black thing. That's sometimes a white on white thing. That's sometimes an indigenous on indigenous, because this is a product of colonization. The tribalism, the colorism, the protection of these recent nationalities. These nationalities just come and be fighting for these nationalities like they've been here all our life. Time now means, and time now means, and let me show you what the Enlightenment is. We're fighting for things that only been around. Nationalities, like for example, my country is like 52 years old, and we're fighting for this nationality, and this just came, and my dad's like 73, I think. So we have to understand what we're fighting for. So anyway, so when I went to Toronto, I felt like nobody knew what I could do, but I wasn't being inspired to do anything, because it was always a struggle to not be getting kicked out of my apartment, not be fighting against my roommates, because I found out that they're awful people. My past roommates that I just moved out from, they're awful. So it was a constant fight for a stable life. So if you're fighting to try to keep an apartment, trying to fight to be in a consistent environment, how are you going to have the time to write a song? So Toronto threw me off of my game big time. It shouldn't have, but it did. So anyways, I was sitting under the sapodilla tree in my grandmother's yard, and something said, write a song a day, prove yourself to yourself, and whoever wants to see it, then they will see it. And if they like the way you think and your unique approach to the world, then this would make you feel like you are developing yourself, or how you have grown. So I posted a video on TikTok that says, I'm gonna prove that I'm the GOAT. I am the songwriter GOAT. I'm gonna prove this to whoever. I'm gonna prove it to myself, and I'm gonna prove it to whoever wanted to know about someone whose capabilities are advanced in the songwriting area. Whoever wanted to know about a songwriter, I would then publicize myself to these type of people. So I stopped thinking about, oh, people are going to steal my words, because that's fair. And if they want to steal it, then they're good words. At least it would be impacting the world in a positive way, and I would get to hear less about big chains and big earrings and whatever nice Gucci clothes. I don't know if these companies have ever poured into me, so I don't know why I gotta sing about them. I never get anything from Gucci, nothing from Versace, nothing from, no. So I am not promoting materialism in my songs. So my approach was, I'll put it out there, and at least it will impact the vibration of the world in a positive way. And whoever like it will comment, and if they don't like it, they won't comment. But at least I would be able to pave a path of consistency for myself. So anyways, I was reading this book, well, listening to this book on Audible, and it's the songwriting book. And it was saying the importance of songwriting. How do you become a good songwriter? How do you do it? It's so hard, isn't it? Oh my gosh, it can stress you. It can be so stressful. Because sometimes you can write one verse and don't have the experience yet, the life experience, to write the second verse. So how the second verse gonna come? And maybe you want to write a bridge to show how much you've learned in the experience, but you haven't learned anything yet within the experience because your life is still moving through. How are you gonna develop that song? So anyways, so within the book, it was saying the importance of us making it a habit and pushing through in one session. So you have to be imaginative. You have to see yourself on the next side of your challenge. You have to see yourself on the next side of your situation. You have to imagine yourself at a higher level. Maybe you're low. You're moving through a broken heart and don't want to eat and don't want to sleep. Maybe you want to call the person, but you know you can't call anymore because that would be harassment. And aren't you so low? Aren't you so low? And how do you get to the other side if you're still low? So you have to imagine within that songwriting session to create the habit of consistent writing every day. Every day, consistent writing. I was sharing on my TikTok post tonight. If you want to follow me at Wayward Z, I was sharing on my TikTok post that I write a song to God every morning. I just sing freely from my heart. I sing and I create, and it's kind of like a melody that's a freestyle. And I cultivate the habit of doing gratitude songs every day. And this is how we can see ourselves on the next side, even when we're not there yet. We have to imagine that we're there when we aren't there. So this is how songwriting is done. You must find your pen. We're going to go to a session in the upcoming videos. We're going to write for 15 minutes. I'm going to talk and we're going to write. We're going to choose a topic. And we're going to go to town on those topics. And you're going to write from your heart. Yesterday, I was writing, well, day before yesterday. No, that was yesterday. Sorry, it's all blending in because I've been doing it every day. But yesterday, my song was called Respect. And I have this in my book, actually. And I said, I don't want to push too hard or give up too quickly, staying in a safety zone, not defying policies. And policies was just, when I was writing, I was like, oh, why I gotta use the word policies? Because I'm talking about how respect doesn't always feel comfortable. But when we overstep the boundaries of respect, then we're defying sometimes legal policies. So let it pour from your heart, and you will read back and say, oh my gosh, who gave me that word? But you must be willing to confront experiences in an authentic way and be willing to write about anything, anything that you're moving through. You have to move through these experiences, because when we become stagnated, are we thriving anymore when we're stagnated? You're singing about that sad song over and over again, but where do you go from there, right? Where do you imagine yourself? So, in the upcoming song sessions, I hope you've been taking notes, because I take notes every class I go to. I have notes at the back of my book, and a spontaneous class that I found on TikTok that told me that I had to start doing videos. And I took notes, and I was trying to go live on TikTok tonight because I want to go live, because as you can see, I love to talk. I love to share what helps me with others, because here's why I like to do this. I like to share what I've learned with others, because I hate sitting in a class with a teacher that's hiding everything. And I'm just like, are you gonna give us the answers? Are you gonna tell us what got you, what made you or caused you to make those big moves in your life? What are those key decisions? I don't have time for you to give me fluff. I'm that type of student. I ask those type of questions. What made you into the person that you were? What was that decision that you made? What did you have to stop doing that you were locked in a vicious cycle of doing? And when you stopped doing that thing, then you got that breakthrough. Tell me that thing, because I'm here to know that thing, because I want to skip to the chase. So I'd like to share these experiences with you that caused me to break into my songwriting mode. And it was confrontation. So if you are unconfrontational or non-confrontational, I advise you, the next time you bring your book into this session, you don't have to tell us what you wrote, but be prepared to confront those things that you have been avoiding, in hopes that this will make you the best songwriter that you can be before you transition. So everyone, it was so good speaking with you. And tonight, if I didn't give you my name, because I don't think I did, my name is Z. And please subscribe if you like this video. That would help all two of us. Have a good day or night. Bye bye.